وله الجوار المنشآت في البحر كالأعلام فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان كل من عليها فان ويبقى وجه ربك ذو الجلال والإكرام فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان صدق الله العظيم.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would request everyone to please rise for the national anthem of Islamic Republic of Pakistan and followed by the Japan. Thank you, everyone. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to request Secretary Board of Investment, Mr. Asad Rahman Gilani, for a formal welcome address.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Excellency, Satomisa, Parliamentary Vice Minister for Economy, Trade and Industry, Excellency Wada-san, Ambassador of Japan to Pakistan, honorable delegates from Japan, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamu alaikum and a very warm welcome to all of you. It is my privilege and pleasure to welcome all of you to this Pakistan-Japan Trade and Investment Seminar today. It's also a matter of profound pleasure for me to address this gathering, consisting of businessmen from both Pakistan and Japan, and we are very happy that we could arrange this seminar today. We are honored to have the Parliamentary Vice Minister Satomi-san, who is the Minister for Economy, Trade and Industry of Japan, who along with his esteemed delegation has been generous enough to take time out and give a much needed visit to Pakistan. This occasion is memorable for both countries as well because we are celebrating the 70th anniversary of diplomatic relations between two great countries. I would also like to recognize the untiring efforts of Wada-san, the Ambassador of Japan to Pakistan, JETRO, my team at the Board of Investment for putting excellent efforts to organize the function today. This is also an opportunity to explore the areas of joint investment activities, as there is a dire need to ignite discussions focused on increasing the trade relations between Japan and Pakistan. Ladies and gentlemen, the government of Pakistan attaches highest precedence to friendly relations with Japan and desires to strengthen the bilateral relations further. The Board of Investment Pakistan is the premier investment promotion and facilitation agency of Pakistan, and we are the contact and one-stop shop for all the Japanese investments coming into Pakistan. I would like to recognize and appreciate the contributions by many Japanese companies who have come in, invested in Pakistan, and led to social development in Pakistan. I would like to name a few: Honda, Toyota, Suzuki, Moringa, Mitsubishi, Mitsui. These are just a few names. So this is by no means a comprehensive list of all the names, all the ministries, all the associations, all the businesses working in Pakistan. I'll just take a moment to welcome Chaudhry Salik Hussain, our Honorable Minister for Board of Investment. Minister, before you came in, I was just welcoming the delegation of businessmen in this Pakistan-Japan business seminar, and I was just recognizing the work of the Japanese embassy and thanking Excellency Mr. Ryuji Satomi, who is the Parliamentary Vice Minister for Economy, Trade and Industry. So, Ladies and gentlemen, Pakistan's economy is moving progressively on a more inclusive and sustainable growth path. The present government is focusing on improving the business climate for both local and foreign investors. What we are trying to do is make the ecosystem in Pakistan more business friendly through a series of reforms that we have introduced and that we will be talking about all day today. Ladies and gentlemen, Pakistan also appreciates deeply the help and generosity by government and people of Japan in diverse areas whenever needed. Today, the entire Pakistani nation is united in collectively overcome the losses caused by the floods. We are indeed grateful to the government and people of Japan for their unwavering support by providing emergency assistance to Pakistan in this time of need. And I am very hopeful that with assistance of friendly countries, including Japan, we will be soon overcoming this catastrophe that has befallen us. Let me conclude by assuring you that the Government of Pakistan is committed to protect and encourage foreign investments. I assure the best facilitation to all the business community, be it from Japan, and especially from Japan, but also to all other countries, that Pakistan is committed to protect and encourage foreign investments. Our dedicated team at the Board of Investment, our foreign missions, and our embassies are all open to support investments coming in from Japan, and we look forward to welcoming you to Pakistan. Thank you all for your attention.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, investment and trade go hand in hand, and it's the Government of Pakistan's vision to enhance trade as well as investment with all bilateral partners. I now request Additional Secretary Syed Hamid Ali for his address on trade and investment. Thank you so much.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Honorable Federal Minister for Investment and Special Initiatives, Mr. Chaudhry Salik Hussain, Excellency Satomi-san, Parliamentary Vice Minister of Japan, Excellency Wada-san, Ambassador of Japan in Pakistan, Excellencies and distinguished participants, Assalamu alaikum and a good morning. I welcome you all to Islamabad at this auspicious event arranged by the Board of Investment. The 7th round of high-level joint business dialogue that we concluded yesterday was a great success, in which we have positive outcomes for both countries. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to the Embassy of Japan, the Board of Investment, and all other stakeholders who generously helped us make the joint dialogue a success. I would like to thank the BOI and JETRO for holding this seminar, which is a wonderful opportunity for stakeholders from both sides to share their views and ideas for realizing the potential future cooperation. Yesterday, we had successful meeting of the 7th Pakistan-Japan Joint Government Business Dialogue and the 9th Pakistan-Japan Business-to-Business Dialogue. This was the first formal institutional dialogue between the two countries after the spread of corona pandemic, which also coincided with the 70th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations between Pakistan and Japan. We had very comprehensive and fruitful discussions on cooperation in trade-related investments, IT, engineering, agriculture, fisheries, engineering standards, and logistics sectors. The MOU between Trade Development Corporation of Pakistan and JETRO was also signed. This will go a long way in enhancing trade and economic cooperation between Pakistan and Japan. For the Ministry of Commerce, export-oriented foreign investment remains one of the key objectives for developing our economy. Through our Strategic Trade Policy Framework 2025, we aim at optimizing growth of existing sectors in the short term, diversifying into new sectors in the medium term, and encouraging innovation-driven export sectors in the long term. In order to align all the policies towards export growth, a National Export Development Board have been formed, which is headed by the Honorable Prime Minister himself. Sector-specific councils for priority sectors have also been formed. In the Strategic Trade Policy Framework 2025, trade-related investments is one of the critical enablers. For this, we aim to collaborate with the Board of Investment and the provincial investment promotion agencies to formulate a framework for integration of trade policy with investment policy. Integration into global value chains is another aim of our critical enablers in the policy through which we encourage in making Pakistan an important player in the regional and global value chains. The creation of level playing field for Pakistan's exports to Japan is an important element of this policy. I invite the investors from Japan to explore these avenues for increasing their profitability here, while at the same time which would enhance Pakistan's exports through investment. Large Japanese corporations such as Toyota, Suzuki, Honda, Mitsubishi, and many more have been in Pakistan for over 50 years now. Their efforts have helped develop a special place for Japanese products in the minds of Pakistani customers, who always link Japan with high quality. We always welcome hearing about the successful experiences of Japanese companies with existing investments in Pakistan. In order to facilitate the investors from Japan in all sectors, the Prime Minister has formed an inter-ministerial committee headed by the Finance Minister and housed in the Board of Investment. If Japanese investors face any issues or problems regarding trade, the Ministry of Commerce is always ready to facilitate you. Excellencies and distinguished participants, thank you very much for your patient hearing. It's been an honor to be able to present my perspective before you all. Thank you and a good day.
Thank you, sir. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we have few presentations about the businesses who have been facilitated by the Government of Japan. For the very first presentation, I would like to request Mr. Koji Yamashita, Chief Representative for Asia and Oceania, Nippon Export and Investment Insurance, for a crisp presentation. If we can have Mr. Koji Yamashita. Thank you.
「ご臨席の皆様、本日はこのような機会を与えていただきまして誠にありがとうございます。日本貿易保険の山下でございます。まずはですね、この度パキスタンを襲った未曾有の洪水被害に対しまして心よりお見舞い申し上げますとともに、一日も早い復旧を心から記念しております。それでは本日はですね、貿易及び投資のリスクマネジメントについて私の方から、ご説明をさせていただこうと思います。世界のこれは最近ですね、どのような地政学的なリスクがあるかというものをマップにしたものでございますけれども、ロシア・ウクライナ戦争に象徴されるように、近年地政学的な問題が山積しておりまして、世界のビジネス環境は不安定化しているというふうに言われております。 こうしたですね、グローバルに経済がつながった時代においては、一国のリスクというものは、これは一国でとどまらないというような状況が発生しております。
クリッカーがいかないので、次へと言葉で指示をお願いします。
Next, please. 先ほど申し上げたようなロシア・ウクライナ戦争にとどまらずですね、この1、2年の間にさまざまな地域で紛争が発生しておりまして、不安定な時代にはですね、こうした流れがトリガーとなりまして、二次、三次的なですね、影響が広がっていくということも想定して、ビジネスのリスクをマネジメントしていく必要があります。Next, please. で、国際展開のビジネスを考えるときに、直面するビジネスリスクというのは大きく2つに分けられるというふうに考えております。1つ目がですね、この左側のいわゆるポリティカルリスクと言われるものでありまして、これはですね、いわゆる不可抗力的なリスクのことを指しております。事業者やその取引先の問題ではなく、ビジネス環境そのものに起因するいわゆるカントリーリスクというものでございます。例えば戦争だとかテロ、国による収容、自然災害などがございます。それからもう一つは右側のいわゆる商業的リスクというふうに言われるものでございまして、個々の取引に関わる関係者固有の問題、例えば、取引先が対価を支払わない、あるいは取引先の倒産、一方的な発注のキャンセルといったようなリスクが挙げられます。Next page, please. こうしたリスクをですね、我々日本貿易保険は政府として引き受けております。最近ですね、このグラフが示しておりますように、保険金の支払い、特にポリティカルリスクによる問題によって、保険金を支払うというケースが非常に増加をしておりまして、これはですね、日本企業が国際情勢の不安定な状況に直面していることを示唆しているというふうに言えると思います。Next page, please. そこでですね、こうしたリスクの高まりに対しまして、すでにパキスタンでは、多くの皆様に、日系企業の皆様に貿易保険、日本企業がさらにパキスタンへの貿易投資を進めていき、官民でリスクシェアをですね、図りながら貿易投資をですね、進めていくための一つのツールとしてですね、貿易保険の取り組みについて簡単にご紹介をしたいと思います。貿易保険はですね、日本貿易保険、いわゆるネクシーと呼んでますけれども、ネクシーはもともと2001年までですね、日本の経済産業省の一部局として保険業務を行っておりましたが、現在は日本政府 100% 出資の株式会社として、
invested by 100% by the Japanese government so that the Japanese companies can scale their business to the world in a very swift and smooth manner. So we take risks about the export and trade and lending and financing. Let me explain our major insurances. The first one is export insurance to cover the risk. And the next one is the investment insurance when Japanese companies invest in Pakistan. This is the insurances we offer. And by utilizing these insurances, you can control political as well as commercial risk. With regard to export risk, we cover the political risk for 100%. And for commercial risk, we offer 90% coverage of the risk at maximum. And with regard to export insurance, we do not cover the commercial risk for that, but we cover 100% of political risk with regard to export insurance. This is underwritten amount by insurance. And as I've been saying, after the COVID-19 pandemic, we are seeing more and more export-related risk. And this shows the increasing number of underwriting for the export insurance. Lastly, for your reference, I'd like to give you some case studies with regard to export insurance that actually occurred under the COVID-19 pandemic. The first one, this is about a food trading company dealing with meals, and they export the meals to foods to the buyer in Hong Kong, but the buyer's restaurant was not able to pay the export money to the trading house. So for this, we pay the claim to the company. The second one is about a Japanese trading company exporting steel product to France. However, there's the lockdown in France, and they suspended the cargo operation at the port, and this resulted in demurrage, and the loss was covered by the insurance we offered. This is about the case studies for investment insurance. Both are related to the lockdown, and there was the business suspension for about 1 month, and they suffered the loss. And
で最後にですね、こうしたその不安定な時代におきましては、やはりリスクマネジメントというものがビジネス成功の鍵となってまいります。これまで日本企業はですね、ジャストインタイムを強みとしてきましたけれども、これからの不安定な時代においてはですね、やはりジャストインケース、つまり何か起こった時の受け身をしっかり取っていくというような経営が大事になってまいります。ネクシーとしましてはですね、果敢にリスクを取って、海外に対応する企業を支援したいというふうに思っておりまして、日本とパキスタンの間のですね、
in case approach so that we can further facilitate the business between Japan and Pakistan. Going forward, we'd like to continuously support Japanese companies in doing so. We'd appreciate your support going forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. For the next presentation, we have Mr. Eiji Teshima, General Manager, Association of Overseas Trade and Industry and Human Resource Development. I would like to request him for a crisp presentation.
Respected ministers, officials, dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. My name is Teshima. I belong to AOTS New Delhi office. For the people affected by floods in Pakistan, we offer our sympathies and hope the situation gets better soon. First of all, thank you very much for having me today. Today, I would like to talk about the support programs available to Japanese companies that are looking to develop Pakistani workers within their companies. I hope that Japanese companies as well as Pakistani people will take advantage of this system, as it will make it easier for them to obtain opportunities to develop their abilities. Let me introduce you to AOTS, our organization. It was established in 1959, and we've been operating for 60 years. We are engaged in the development of human resources in emerging countries, and in total we have developed offices in Tokyo and Osaka, and we also have overseas offices, Bangkok, Thailand, Jakarta in Indonesia, and New Delhi in India. Today I came from the office in New Delhi. The support programs I will talk about today is funded by the Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry of Japan. I will explain two subsidized support programs in my presentation today. The two programs are, one is targeting general development of industries in emerging countries, and the other is technical transfer program specifically targeting to reduce emissions of carbon dioxide. The second program, the CO2 emission reduction program, can only be implemented by SMEs, but a higher percentage of cost is subsidized. And if I try to explain both programs at the same time in the presentation today, it may confuse you, so I will focus on the one focusing on the industry development for emerging countries. So mainly there are 5 things that this program can do. First, the programs where employees or overseas subsidiaries or the partners of Japanese companies are invited to come to Japan. There is the technical training for young workers, which lasts relatively long, and the short-term management training provided to managers. There is also a program where Japanese experienced workers are dispatched as instructors or experts to give training to overseas subsidiaries or partner companies. We have overseas training where lecture-style training is done for a relatively short period of time, and there's also OJT-based training, which lasts longer, where experts are dispatched. Lower left, we have the industry-academia collaborative programs, which is a bit different from others. Classes are designed together with local universities for university students. This program could be an opportunity to hire the students who took part in those classes at the head office in Japan or the overseas subsidiaries. All of these programs were held face-to-face, which became impossible due to COVID. It is now possible to hold these programs online. Companies can expect to reduce a financial burden and workload for the development of local human resources, while workers will be able to gain opportunities to build their skills, which is the biggest advantage of our program. Now, I would like to explain the technical training program where Pakistani workers are invited to come to Japan to receive training. In technical training, employees in Pakistan who already work for the company to come to Japan to get trained. Training period is minimum of 3 months to 1 year. Our trainees are to learn technology and are to make use of the skills gained when they go back to Pakistan. Of course, it is possible for companies to send their employees to Japan for training on their own. But then there are benefits that companies can enjoy by using our program. Usually with trainee visa, OJT or on-the-job training cannot be provided, and everything has to be classroom lectures. However, with our program, it is possible to do on-the-job trainings. Furthermore, 2/3 to 1/3 of the expenses for staying in Japan and training expenses can be subsidized. Trainees can participate in the introductory training to learn about the life in Japan and the Japanese language to smoothly adjust themselves to the training programs in the Japanese company.
Pakistan, then they participate in Japan for 3 months or 1 year. Then they study some techniques, and they return to Pakistan, and then they disseminate their knowledge in your company or in the business field. So that is the main purpose of this scheme. Okay. Okay, next. The company can receive some subsidy from the Japanese government. And there is, next slide please. There is some conditions. The applicant company should be Japanese affiliated company, and alsoすいません、日本語が英語になってました。
English.
はい。はい。日本に法人格を有しまして、
So there is a need for the company to be incorporated in Japan with more than 50% of its equity held by the Japanese side. The company must have the capacity to bear the costs associated with accepting trainees. The company must have a capital or business relationship with a local counterpart. And the number of trainees must be approximately 1 for every 20 Japanese employees. This training will be conducted in Japan. We have the training contents need to be appropriate to be provided in Japan. It should be worthwhile to have trainees come to Japan to get training, so it shouldn't be skills that can easily be gained. Now, let me explain the subsidy rates for technical training. Subsidy rates are different depending on the size of the company for emerging country programs. 2/3 of the expenses in the scope of subsidies are subsidized for SMEs, and with large companies, 1/3, or depending on the training content, half of the expenses can be subsidized. And the rest will be borne by the Japanese company. So a lot of detailed calculations are done to decide on the amount of subsidy. But let me share with you a very rough simulation. This shows a case where an SME sends trainees to Japan for a year. The total amount is about 1,926,000 yen, out of which about 1 million will be borne by the company and the rest will be subsidized, which means that around 50% of expenses can be subsidized. So that was a brief explanation on the scheme where Pakistani workers were sent to Japan for training. Next, I would like to talk about the cases where instructors are sent to Pakistan from Japan. If instructors are dispatched, the minimum number of days is 2 days and the maximum of 30 days. There are various advantages, and the biggest benefit is that payment for the instructors, cost of stay, travel expenses can also be subsidized. And even though it's a short-term training, maximum 30 days, there is a benefit of being able to train many trainees at the same time. And here are the requirements for the companies to make applications for the program. The conditions are almost the same as the technical training. Sorry, can you go to the next page, please?
Okay, next, please. Okay, next, please. Okay, next, please. Okay.
So here are the requirements for companies to make application for the program, almost the same as those for technical training. But the application can be done not only by Japanese companies, but local companies, local Japanese companies can also make applications for this program. In terms of subsidies, regardless of the size of the companies, 2/3 of the expenses can be subsidized. And this, just like the technical training, we did run a simulation on how much it would cost the company. The total, about 50% of the total amount of expenses can be subsidized. And that is all for the explanation for overseas training. Since I do not have the time to talk about the other scheme, so there are many programs that we can offer. So if you're interested, please contact us. So here is the contact, and AOTS is in cooperation with PJBF, and also EFP, Employers Federation of Pakistan, who has activities in Karachi. We have a relationship with them. So you can contact either of them. And I'm sure that you'll be able to receive the information that you need. If you're interested, please do contact us.
はい、私からは以上でございます。
That is all for
ちょっ
me.
と時間が長くなりました。申し
Sorry
訳
I
ござい
took
ま
a
せん。
long time for my presentation. Thank you very much for your kind attention.
Thank you, sir. And for everyone's information, all these presentations will be uploaded on the BOI website post this event. Well, ladies and gentlemen, they say in the market, businesses attract businesses as well. And the experience of one company, if it is good, impacts the decision of other companies to invest in a certain country. And by saying this, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to have and request a few success stories from the businesses in Japan who have worked in Pakistan. I would like to first request Mr. Wakako Sakurai, founder and CEO of Plus W Inc. I would like to request him for a short presentation. Oh, I would like to request Ms. Wakako Sakurai, founder and CEO Plus W. Please.
Minasama, おはようございます。私はプラス W のファウンダー CEO の桜井でございます。本日はどうぞよろしくお願いいたします。まずは本日
Thank you very much for giving the opportunity today to talk about the future of Pakistan and Japan. We'd also like to express our gratitude to the Pakistan and BOI in general. First, the flood-affected people of Pakistan, we offer our sympathies and hope the situation gets better soon. We extend our deepest condolences to those who lost their lives and bereaved families, and extend our deepest sympathies to the victims. We sincerely hope the early recovery of the disaster-affected areas.
お話をさせていただくテーマ
Today, the theme I'd like to discuss is invest in human capital. I believe that human capital is one of the most important factors for the development of both Pakistan and Japan. For Japan, the population has begun to decline due to declining birth
ヒュ
rate
ーマンキャピタルへの投資は
ahead of other countries. Investment in human, that is human capital, is the most important issue. His Excellency Mr. Shehbaz Sharif, the Prime Minister of Pakistan, has repeatedly mentioned the importance of human in various places. I sincerely agree that occupation, science, and higher education are essential for the development of Pakistan. On the other hand, I also recognize that investment in people can be called the driving force for our growth in Japan. All the statistics show that Japan will be further faced with a shortage of the working population in the near future, and how to overcome this challenge is one of the biggest issues for Japan. We plus W is a company established in 2020. Our vision is for the world with diversified individuals. No matter how much technology evolves, no matter how much it changes with the times, there is always a human at the very beginning. We believe that each person's individuality and ability will create the next era. We will create opportunities for talents with outstanding career and experience to play an active role in industries and business domains that have previously had less career transition. We will create a new cycle that will be beneficial for both the organization and employees. Our mission is to change the organization and society by harnessing the power of every one of us in a borderless manner to create a bright future for our business in Japan and around the world, which face numerous challenges. Plus W has received encouraging support from both Japanese and Pakistani government agencies. With support from the Japanese embassy in Pakistan and the Pakistani embassy in Japan, we have started a project that will serve as a bridge for human resources. Our business is to connect Pakistani talent with Japanese companies. Currently, we provide opportunities for highly skilled IT engineers, especially from Pakistan, to work for Japanese companies. With a focus on collaboration with OEC and NUST, we have already introduced and are matching highly skilled Pakistani IT engineers who work in leading ICT companies in Pakistan or global companies to Japanese startups and IT companies. Thus, they can contribute to the companies from day one. We also provide support for offshore development in Pakistan. In addition, we not only provide opportunities for engineers to work, but also provide support for Pakistani IT engineers in Japanese language education and other programs introducing Japanese culture, and support Japanese companies in creating an environment in which they can work with non-Japanese talents. Plus W does not only aim to match Pakistani talents to Japanese companies. We made a collaboration agreement with NUST in March 2022 with the aim of connecting outstanding university students who will become future leaders for both countries. Indeed, the young generation, as mentioned by His Excellency Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif. The Plus W Japan Center was established in the National Science and Technology Park in May. The Japan Center currently operating with 3 key persons: Mr. Hayashi from Plus W as the head of Japan Center, Ms. Aruba from NUST as the vice head, and Umeo from Plus W as a chief consultant who graduated from NUST as a top student. We have started activities that serve as a bridge between Japan and Pakistan, such as provide endowed courses to NUST students or introducing employment opportunities in Japan to students and alumni. In the future, we will collaborate with various universities in Japan and Pakistan to expand similar initiatives. With support from the AOTS plus W offers an endowed course for NAST students to acquire the skills and capabilities required for a job as an engineer in Japan on cutting-edge topics such as AI and IoT. We have been offering a basic AI course since August 2022. Over 100 students have participated in the course and have been very highly received by NAST students. In the future, we will continue to offer lectures online practices. For the first class, we received 120 students, and Professor Asaan offered the class in the session. In the future, we'd like to invite top teachers from Japan and Pakistan, and we'd like to have AI and IoT related classes. We have more than 2,000 Pakistani engineers, and we are conducting the matching with Japanese companies. I am very proud of this and express my respect to the young Pakistani engineers who have jumped into the new environment. They'll be there are many research advanced IT personnel such as AI in interviews with Japanese companies, and employment opportunities are actually expanding. And I will introduce pioneers who are already working with Japanese companies. They worked as engineers in Pakistan and they chose to work for a Japanese company. As a Japanese, I'm very proud of this and express my respect to the young Pakistani engineers who have jumped into the new environment, and they will be a catalyst for changing Japanese companies to global. We'd like to increase such a case. Plus W started its business to connect Pakistan and Japan. So what do we want to be in the future? It is clear that the major goals in both Pakistan and Japan are human capital and digital ICT. It is important to team up for both Pakistan, which is expected to produce many highly skilled IT professionals, and Japan, which is known to have a shortage of human resources in various fields centering on digital transformation. We plus W will work together with our partners from both Pakistan and Japan to solve issues in the area of human and digital ICT as the bridge between Pakistan and Japan. First, as our current plan, we are considering 3 initiatives shown below. First, Shikoku University and Plus W will jointly launch a 12-week Japanese language training program dedicated to Pakistan and IT engineers. In the future, we will try to collaborate with NAST and expand the provision of this to students at other universities and members of society. Second, in addition to Shikoku University, we will collaborate with top Japanese universities such as Osaka University, Tokyo Institute of Technology, and Ritsumeikan University to advance collaboration with Pakistan universities, including NAST. Plus W will facilitate exchange of young talent between the two countries, such as exchange study abroad, internship, and joint research. Thirdly, we will further expand the employment opportunities for advanced IT personnel in Pakistan. In addition to Tokyo, where employment of global talent has already started in ICT companies, many stakeholders in the local regions are interested in global engineers work in their regions. For example, Tokushima and Nagasaki are very much interested in. Moving forward, we will continue to realize employment in Japan by closely collaborating with relevant organizations in Pakistan, such as OEC and NAST. Let me close by stating our commitment. As I have repeatedly mentioned, we are committed to invest in human capital. This way we will be able to build the bridges between Pakistan and Japan. First, I'd like to build 3 bridges. The first is the bridge between Pakistan's highly skilled human resources and Japanese companies. This is already taking shape. In the future, we will create opportunities for more and more talented Pakistani employees to work in Japanese companies. The second bridge connects universities. The inwardness of young people is also a major issue in Japan. I hope to connect top universities in Pakistan and Japan, providing strong stimulation and original experiences to future leaders and making this a bridge that will lead to the future. The third is the bridge to connect industries. The potential of Pakistan has been discussed many times with the top management of leading Japanese companies. Top management of companies are interested in the potential of Pakistan, and Plus W would like to revisit Pakistan with them in the near future. I believe this will serve as a bridge to connect our industries. We intend to build these three bridges of human capital in both countries and connect Pakistan and Japan. This year marks 70 years since the establishment of relations with Pakistan and Japan, and I hope that Plus W will contribute to build the bonds that our predecessors have made into even greater bridges. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Wakako Sakurai. Ladies and gentlemen, next we have a presentation from Mr. Nobuo Shiobara, President and Representative Director, Profound Vision. I would like Sir to please take the stage.
Minasama, おはようございます。ご列席の各大使の皆様。
Respected ministers, officials, dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Thank you very much for joining us. It is a great honor to be here today. So, to be honest with you, I was affected by the Great Eastern Japan earthquake. So I would like to extend my sympathies to those who were affected by the floods in Pakistan. I'm hoping that the situation will get better soon. So, Ms. Sakurai just shared with us a great vision. We ourselves are hoping to bring young Pakistani ICT engineers to Japan. That is what we do. So the bridge was the word that was often used in her presentation. And the bridge that is shown on the slide is the Rainbow Bridge. It's a bridge called Rainbow Bridge in Tokyo. At the end of May, I came to Pakistan, and this is my second visit to Pakistan. I came to Pakistan 2 days ago on the 28th. At HEC, Higher Education Commission in Islamabad, we held a press conference. So we announced the completion for the portal system to Pakistan. Right now we have offices in Tokyo, Sydney, Karachi, and New York. And the development is being taken care of by David, who came from Sydney through Karachi. We started with a concept in Tokyo 3 years ago. We have been doing programming, and after the programming has been completed, it's been 2 years, and we have last completed the system. And briefly, it shows my background on the slide. I started working for Honda, which is an auto manufacturer in Japan, and right now I am working on IT. It may sound a little bit weird, but IC is a technology that is needed around the world, in all the countries around the world. So if I may introduce a bit about this slide, Takeo Fujisawa and Soichiro Honda are the two founders of the companies or the businesses. They are completely different in terms of character, personality, and those two work together to start the company, Honda. So Japan and Pakistan has a very long-lasting relationship. We are celebrating 70th anniversary of the establishment of the diplomatic relations. And in terms of geography, Pakistan is bigger by two times compared to Japan, and the population is much bigger compared to Japan as well. So you may think that it's very difficult for two countries to work together because they are extremely different. But we will be able to build a bridge to enhance and strengthen the relationship between two very different countries. And last year, at the Embassy of Pakistan in Tokyo, we held a webinar last year in October. The title of the seminar was Bridging the Gap Between Japan and Pakistan. And we have a bilingual portal site, and by creating that portal site, we are to bring young, talented ICT engineers to Japan. That is the intention or the purpose of what we do. And back then, Mr. Ahmad, His Excellency Ambassador Ahmada, has guided us on working this. It's not that we are running this business alone. Technical support that was presented earlier, and as was mentioned by Sakurai-san as well, over time, gradually, we have established a technical relationship between the two countries. In 2019, MOC was signed. Back then, the ambassador was Mr. Matsuda. Plus W's MOU was signed, and when that was signed, Ambassador Wada was there, and it just shows what happened in the past, the history of what we have been doing. And I'm happy to be involved in this business. In terms of programming, since it will be extremely detailed, I just showed it very simply. Colored in green, or the green boxes, represent the things that are done in Pakistan, and the acceptance in Japan. How we're going to accept the workers from Pakistan in Japan is something that we have been thinking about. I went to HEC, and then I found out that every year ICT engineers graduate from school in Pakistan, whether it's higher education institutions or universities. 20,000 students actually graduate to become engineers. But this is actually an old data. But actually, there are 244 schools in Pakistan, out of which 163 educational institutions provide IT-related training, and 400,000 engineers graduate from schools every year. So that is what I heard, and I hope that our program will be useful for those graduates. The students who graduate schools, unfortunately, are not necessarily given the opportunity to work for IT companies. So I'm sorry, this slide is a bit busy. On the right-hand side, it shows our program, and at the top, it shows the Japanese side, and at the bottom is the Pakistan.
in Pakistan, about people between the ages of 26 and 39, the graduates, the people who have graduated from schools will fill out a form with the skills that they have. We call it entry sheet that they are supposed to fill. And because of COVID, it is the visa application should be done online. And since I'm an old man, I struggle with online applications. But unless online applications are done properly, the visa is not issued. Of course, it can be helped. So filling the entry sheet is something that we announced 2 days ago, meaning that we have been able to complete the program. So driver's license information, qualifications that you have, and the skills that you have, any qualifications or certificates you may have will be written in the form. And then Japanese companies or Japanese local governments will look at this information, and there will be a matching process. At the end of next month, there's going to be an event called IT Week in Makuhari in Japan. It's the biggest IT event in Japan. And as written in pink, we are going to announce what's written in the pink box in that IT Week. And once that is completed, we'll be able to do the matching. The young ICT engineers in Pakistan can be matched with the human resources needs in Japan, and I'm sure that there will be success cases before the end of this year. The portal site, we call it FIGHT. So FIGHT is a kind of word that could be encouraging for everyone. So IT engineers or non-Japanese IT engineers can use this site. This is a bilingual site, and this is the very first of its kind in Japan. It's not will start a full-fledged operation right away, but having as many ICT engineers as possible registered to this portal site, I'm sure that we'll be able to have many ICT engineers come to Japan to work. And this is something that's on the website. So I really appreciate that the details of the program is explained on the website. And the press conference was done on the 28th. And HEC and the Embassy of Japan, Embassy of Pakistan, decided to post our press release on their websites. I hope that you will take a look at our release later. So let's see what kind of jobs are available in Japan. Earlier, the expert in smart cities talked about this initiative. Already in Islamabad, there is an ongoing research activities on smart cities, and in Europe and in the United States, people who came back from these regions are working on such kind of research activities. And also in Japan, there is an ongoing research on smart cities. There are 31 smart cities and in Japan, and Osaka and Tsukuba City were selected as super cities in March 2022. In Osaka, in 2025, there's going to be a World Expo. I do hope that you will come to Japan for the expo. And if you cannot wait up until 2025, please do come to Japan anytime, and I'll be more than happy to take you to Tsukuba City. So Tokyo, Karachi, Sydney, in New York are the places where we have our offices. That is what I mentioned earlier. That is because there's been advancement in ICT technology. Already we have MOU signed with ICT universities, and at HEC they are considering signing an MOU with the ministry. So I am looking forward to receiving more support from Pakistani government as well as the Japanese government. So this is my final slide. So bridge is the word that I've used. And in the future, ICT engineers in Pakistan, hopefully in the future, will be able to be successful in Japan. And if that is realized, I'm sure that they will be the ones who will become the bridge between the two countries. With this, I would like to conclude my presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Nobuo Shiobara, and BOI's platform is always available for any support and any cooperation. Ladies and gentlemen, next we have Mr. Hitoshi Yamaguchi, Managing Director of YKK Pakistan. Sir, please.
YKK パキスタン社の代表を務めております。
My name is Yamaguchi, representative of YKK Pakistan. Thank you very much for having me as a presenter. I would like to thank the members of BOI and JETRO for inviting me. Today, I would like to talk about the reason why we decided to invest in Pakistan and how we have grown together with the Pakistani sewing industry. Next, please. Here is today's agenda. First of all, I would like to briefly explain the YKK Group. I will then explain about the apparel market in Pakistan. And finally, I will explain the activities of YKK Pakistan. YKK was established in Japan in 1934. And there are two main businesses that we run. The first is a fastener business, fastening business, where we create fasteners, zippers, buttons, and so on. And the other is a construction material business, which manufactures sashes, windows, curtain walls. The two businesses share one thing in common. They both use in-house manufactured machineries to manufacture fastening products and construction materials. The use of our own machines to manufacture enables us to provide products that exceed YKK's global quality standards to markets, which is our strength and what makes us trusted by our customers around the world. Here in Pakistan, machines manufactured by YKK Japan are used to produce global quality fasteners to be delivered to our customers. The YKK Group currently operates 106 companies in 72 countries and regions around the world. The fastening business divides the world into 6 regions. And Pakistan belongs to ISAMIA region, which is indicated in red on the slide. ISAMIA is short for India, South Asia, Middle East, and Africa. And this is a region that is growing rapidly in recent years. The annual global sales of fastening business is 348 billion yen, out of which 4.8 billion comes from ISAMIA region. ISAMIA is the region the group is focusing on together with ASEAN region with the highest growth potential. This map shows YKK group companies in ISAMIA and ASEAN region. In ISAMIA region, we have Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka. In those 4 countries, we have factories, and we are increasing our sales every year. We have 18 factories and 48 sales offices besides Japan and China. This slide shows a typical application of YKK fasteners. Here in Pakistan, the demand for metal zippers for jeans, as shown on the upper left, is overwhelmingly high, followed by zippers used for front part and pockets of outerwears, as shown on the upper right. Next, I will briefly explain the situation of apparel market in Pakistan. So as you know, Pakistan is highly competitive in the sewing industry. The population of Pakistan is over 200 million, and in particular, the population of young people under the age of 30 is over 60%. So the working population engaged in the sewing industry is large. And the world's fifth largest cotton producing country, cotton yarn is available at reasonable prices in the country. Out of the total exports, more than 57% of the total value of export is from textiles and garments. And the exchange rate of Pakistani rupee against the US dollar is shown on the lower left, although the depreciation of Pakistani rupee since last year has been a major problem in Pakistan, but it's been beneficial in terms of apparel exports and has enabled Pakistan to maintain its international competitiveness in exports. The graph on the lower right is the changes in apparel garment export of Pakistan. The export has been growing steadily, and it is expected that it will continue to grow. So it's a bit busy chart. The apparel, it shows the consumption of forecast of jeans and outerwear. Upper left shows the consumption forecast of jeans, global consumption, and the upper right is for outerwear. Jeans and outerwear. The consumption declined in 2020 due to COVID, but there's been a major recovery in 2021. So midterm, they are both expected to grow. At the bottom shows the trends of export of jeans and outerwear by country. If you look at jeans, Pakistan was the world's third largest export of jeans in 2016, but by 2020 it overtook China to become the world's second largest export of jeans. The right side shows exports of outerwear. While still behind countries like China and Vietnam, exports have doubled in 5 years. In order for Pakistan's sewing industry to grow in the future, we should increase exports of outerwear, which has higher added value. To realize that, there is a need to improve sewing technology and design technology. And yesterday there was a fashion show at Serena Hotel, but I believe that JICA support activities for improving the technology are extremely significant. YKK Pakistan would like to make contributions to Pakistani garment industry by producing high-quality zippers to fit the high value-added apparel products in Pakistan. Lastly, I would like to introduce the history and current activities of YKK Pakistan. YKK opened an office in Karachi in 1998 and an office in Lahore in 2001 and exported zippers from Singapore to Pakistan. In 2006, YKK established a local subsidiary, YKK Pakistan, in response to the growth of the Pakistani garment market, and since 2007, YKK has been selling zippers manufactured in factory in Karachi to the Pakistani apparel processing and exporting market. In 2012, we expanded the factory and have been steadily increasing our sales since then. The company sold 64.3 million yen in last fiscal year, and the sales in the current fiscal year is exceeding the results of last year. I would like to explain the background behind the decision to establish YKK Pakistan. In 2005, the market environment was favorable for the Pakistani sewing industry. The most decisive factor for the investment decision was the steady growth of garment exports to Europe and the US, taking advantage of the world's fourth largest cotton production. The basic principle for the establishment was we would like to gain the number one position as a zipper producer, and we wanted to start local production. And through local production, we'll be able to improve delivery lead time, which would end up in better customer satisfaction. And also, we wanted to maximize our tax benefits so as to maintain competitiveness. And that is the reason why we decided to open a factory in export processing zone. And by having a site in export processing zone, we have been able to smoothly run our business. Thank you very much to the Pakistani government for your support. YKK Pakistan has its headquarters and a factory in the Export Processing Zone, or EPZ, in eastern Karachi, and sales offices in Lahore and Sialkot. Each of these three cities have their own characteristics. Characteristics are Karachi is famous for jeans and leather jackets, Lahore knitwear and sportswear, and Sialkot leather jackets and sportswear. So we are delivering zippers to all the players in the market from our factory in Karachi. And this is the current YKK factory in Pakistan. There in the back is the first phase building, which started its operation in 2007, and the second phase building, which has started in operation in 2012, is the one in the front. The invested amount are 5.5 million and 4.9 million respectively. YKK Pakistan has decided to build a third building to meet the growing demand for fasteners in Pakistan, and the construction started this month. And this is an illustration of the third building. The size of the new building, or the total invested amount, is 12 million, and the total floor area will be 13,320 square meters, and we'll be able to double the floor space once it is completed. And it will be completed and operational in 2024. YKK Pakistan is committed to CSR activities as well. We are contributing to increasing the amount of greenery in the export processing area by planting trees every year on the factory grounds. We are also implementing energy-saving activities and promoting the use of renewable energy with solar power generation. This is my final slide. YKK Pakistan has also made donations to the Red Crescent of Pakistan in response to the floods that have affected many people in Pakistan. In addition, YKK continues to provide support to children who create the future of Pakistan. YKK Pakistan will continue to contribute to the local community and the Pakistani sewing industry, as YKK Pakistan hopes to grow and develop together with the people of Pakistan. I hope that today's presentation will be a trigger for Japanese companies to start to think about investing in Pakistan. Thank you very much for your kind attention.
Next, we have a presentation from Mr. Shinji Yanagi, Vice Chairman, Indus Motor Company. So please.
Next. 皆様ご臨席の
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for your introduction. I'm Yanagi, working for the joint venture company in the motor company, second from Toyota. For the flood-affected people of Pakistan, we offer our So I'm Yanagi, and we'd like to express for the flood-affected people of Pakistan, we offer our sympathies and hope the situation gets better soon. And we were at a loss that we were asked to talk about the success story of Japanese companies, because we always has been told by the president that we should not be complacent with the status quo, the current situation. So rather than the success story, I'd like to talk about the Indus Motors overview and the history, as well as what would be the future challenges for us for the business growth going forward. The Indus Motor was founded in December 1989 and started producing Corolla in March 1993, and the Port Kassin was the location. The capital mix of the joint company was the Habib family 44%, Toyota 25%, Toyota Tsusho 12.5%, and we are also a listed company, so the general shareholders have 18.5%. We are the local majority joint venture company. We have 4,200 people, including apprenticeships and people coming from the outsourcing companies. The net revenue last year was 275.5 billion PKR, and the profit was 25.5 billion Pakistan rupees. And this is the overview of the company. And next, I'd like to talk about the outline of company production. Last year, we produced 72,000 units. We produced Yaris, Corolla, Fortuner, large-scale SUVs, and pickup as well. And for the vehicles, for this can be pressed with the vehicles units. And for vehicles, pressing, welding, painting, and assembly. For the unit, we assemble engine and transmission, and the bumper, we over painting for the plastic parts like bumper. Without overtime, our production capability was 66,000 units, and we'd like to increase the number to 76 units. For the local suppliers, we have 54 companies, out of which 70 are of Japanese companies. We have the technological partnership contract with them, agreement with them. The localization rate is 65% for Corolla. And this is the training centers, how we conduct training. Next page, please. And moving to the outline of company's sales. We produce 76,000 units, most of which are locally produced companies, and imported CKB is only 1,000 or so. And CBU, importing high-ace and coasters are made in 7 models as shown here. Market share last year was 3%, and including Suzuki and the Japanese vehicles, including Suzuki and Honda, and ourselves would account for 3/4 of the market. We have 53 dealers, 23 in the central part, including Punjab, and 18 in the southern part, including Karachi, and 11 for the northern part, and they are all independent local dealers. And this is the dealer image. You can see the scale is quite large, and this sells more than 3,000 units per year for some dealers. And I'd like to also talk about the movement or history Toyota after the establishment of the company. This is Toyota's movement. As you can see, after 2004, we saw a significant rapid growth, although with some ups and downs. We suffered a strong decrease in the COVID-19 pandemic time, but we exceeded more than 300,000 last year, achieving the recovery in the post-COVID period. And moving to talking about the unit sale of Toyota vehicles. As with the market expansion of the automotive industry, we are seeing the increase in the production and sales volume. As you can see, after in 1993, we see the level stayed flat, and it was tough for us in terms of profitability. But after that, we are seeing a steady growth in the number. And this year marks the 1 million production accumulative. After the 1960s, Toyota has been conducting KD production with a lot of completed vehicles restrictions. But in a lot of countries, we gave up producing locally due to the FTAs and so on. However, in Pakistan, we've achieved this success. I think this is the result of a KD production focusing on emerging countries. And after the business establishment in Pakistan in 1993, we focused on the production capability ramp up in the US, China, the US, and BRICS countries, and we haven't conducted emerging countries KD production setup, but we learned from the case in Pakistan, so we need to prepare in advance. So in 2012, starting with Egypt, the OEM production, together with Toyota Tsusho, we've started small-scale local production in Kenya, Ghana, and Myanmar as well. We'd like to achieve the similar success that we've achieved in Pakistan in these countries. And in scaling our production, secondees from Toyota have been taking this important to root the priority of Toyota into the local regions. The first comes the safety of the working environment and the health of the employee. Second comes quality, and thirdly, the profit. So this is the Toyota's philosophy, and based on this, we conduct operation together with the local partners and employees. Next, I'd like to talk about the competitive environment changes for the automotive industry. Traditionally, the Pakistani automotive market was basically dominated by the three Japanese companies, as you can see. But after the new entrant incentive announced 2016, there are more than 10 companies joining the local production. The market share of the three Japanese companies was down to 75%. Now we are faced with a very tough competitive situation environment. Next, I'd like to touch on how we are to survive in this difficult competitive environment. What are our challenges? On the left side, and this is how we are to further strengthen our operation. And the right side, this is the new initiative that we need to do in the future. I'd like to explain based on these categories. On the left side, in the fierce competition, the profit comes from the new vehicles would be very small, to be difficult to secure. So we'd like to ensure high quality, but at the same time we have to be cost competitive as well. I think right now Pakistan has suffered a weaker currency, so we need to reconsider producing parts in Pakistan for some of the parts that we haven't conducted before. Also, we'd like to keep the total value chain perspective, providing value to our customers for the life cycle vehicles, for services, insurance, and used cars. To gain profit from this process is also important for us. And turning to the right side, new initiatives. To achieve the carbon neutral society, we have already started the carbon neutral, the operation toward carbon neutrality, but also we need to also introduce and adapt hybrid EVs and other products as well. And also DX, digitalization, digital transformation. This is not this is not what I'm so good at, but digitalization is important. Customers uses the web to select the vehicles of choice, and we need to tailor to such needs and trends we see in our customers. And new mobility as well. How new mobility will unfold in Pakistan, we need to consider that car sharing or other business development, how we are to deal with the situation needs to be considered. And part of new initiatives that I've touched on earlier, I'd like to share one thing. Last September, we announced that we are going to start production of the hybrid EV in the fourth generation by the 100 million investment, and for the first time in Pakistan. Yes, thank you. So Toyota offers hybrid EVs or EVs, a lot of electric vehicles. And we'd like to consider the power environment and the situation in Pakistan, so we believe the hybrid EV will be the first practical solution that we can implement in Pakistan. And also the hybrid EV would consume just half of the conventional gasoline cars, so we can decrease the gas usage as well. And also this matches with the clean and green Pakistan pursued by Pakistan government. And that concludes my presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. That was an excellent presentation and very informative. Ladies and gentlemen, to showcase what Pakistan has to offer to the investors, we have with us Director General Board of Investment, Mr. Jameel Ahmed Qureshi, with a very informative presentation. I would like to request, sir, and all other presenters to please keep the presentation very crisp and short, keeping the time in view. So please.
Good morning, everybody, and minasan ohayo gozaimasu. A very warm welcome to our Japanese friends in the hall, and I understand that we have got a large number of business community listening to this event in Japan also. I'll just deliver a quick presentation for our audience. It's just a sequence of a presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, considering our growing youth, the UN Development Program has termed Pakistan as the second youngest country in the world, with 64% of its population below the age of 30. The location of Pakistan can provide access to 68 countries, which accounts for 1/3 of world's GDP and 62% of world's population. Due to COVID-19 pandemic, many businesses around the world were shut down with massive layoffs. However, Pakistan tackled the adverse effects and ensured continued growth, leading to a GDP growth of 5.74%. Pakistan follows a liberal investment regime and investment promotion policy, and the government has taken a series of economic measures, including competitive incentives and tax benefits in the special economic zones. As we all know, Pakistan is a blessed land, abundant in natural and human resources, and is internationally recognized in various domains. We are the third fastest growing freelance IT market, as we have seen a couple of presentations already. Third in terms of yarn production, fourth largest milk producer globally, eighth largest wheat producer, and ninth in total cattle production. Pakistan is also 10th largest rice producer and 11th in terms of poultry production. There are 92 known minerals in Pakistan, and the sector is growing by 2 to 3% every year. In terms of Pakistan's economic growth, Pakistan's GDP registered a growth of 5.74% in 2021. Agriculture sector grew by 4.4%, and share of services sector in Pakistan's GDP is now at 58%. Our exports have increased by 1%, and the growth in wholesale and retail trade is recorded at 10%. Just to highlight Pakistan's investment regime, Pakistan follows a very liberal investment regime, including level playing field for both foreign and local investors. All our economic sectors are open to foreign direct investment. Foreign equity of up to 100% is allowed. Remittance of profits, dividends, capital, and capital gains are also allowed. Borrowing facility can be availed from local as well as foreign banks, and foreign investment is fully protected under Foreign Private Investment Promotion Law. Just to highlight a few things in terms of ease of doing business in Pakistan, Pakistan has undertaken structural and policy reforms leading to an improved investment ecosystem. The efforts were acknowledged by the World Bank through Ease of Doing Business report, where Pakistan jumped 28 points. Pakistan secured 6th position among top reformers globally and first reformer position in South Asia. And as a continuity to this doing business initiative, Pakistan has introduced reforms in the form of Pakistan Regulatory Modernization Initiative called PRMI. PRMI is a key initiative for modernization and regulation of businesses through reduction of cumbersome processes and reforming key institutions. PRMI has received worldwide recognition by major international organizations, and World Trade Organization has consented to replicate the PRMI model in developing economies for easing their process of doing business. Just to highlight our special economic zones, there are 22 approved special economic zones in Pakistan, all around the four provinces, to ensure meaningful export-led industry. SEZs in Pakistan can be developed under 3 modes, including public-private and public-private partnership. One-time custom duty exemption on import of capital goods and income tax exemption for 10 years to zone developers and enterprises is offered. Additional benefits can also be granted based on the economic impact to promote high-tech, IT and other sectors. BOI, being the SEZ Secretariat, is working on the establishment of one-stop shop for the special economic zones. Just to highlight few sectors, I think we have heard enough of on information technology, but from our side to highlight few things, Pakistan's IT exports have hit $2.1 billion US, while the targeted industry is expected to expand by $20 billion US by 2025. And I welcome the 2 companies, Japanese companies now, they're working in Pakistan, including Profound Vision and Plus W. We have more than 95 million active internet users in Pakistan, and in terms of incentives, we offer 0 income tax on IT and ITS exports, and again 100% foreign ownership of companies and repatriation of profits for foreign investors. We have been ranked number 3 for freelance sector development in the world, and 25,000 IT graduates are being produced every year in Pakistan. Pharmaceutical industry, Pakistan has a very vibrant pharmaceutical industry, 10th largest in Asia Pacific, and meets 70% of country's demand. We have more than 700 pharmaceutical manufacturing units, including those operated by 25 multinational companies in Pakistan. The sector calls for innovative and cost-effective repackaging and drug enhancement, with opportunities for joint ventures to promote research and development in active pharmaceutical ingredient industry. A new API policy has been drafted by the government of Pakistan, which includes attractive incentives like reduced custom duty on active pharmaceutical ingredients. State Bank of Pakistan is ensuring financing facilities for the industry under its export finance scheme and long-term finance scheme. And the companies are allowed to retain export earnings of up to 20%. Coming to mineral sector of Pakistan, the mineral sector currently contributes 2.8% to Pakistan's gross domestic product and is growing 2 to 3% per annum. The sector has potential to increase Pakistan's revenue and contribute to Pakistan's overall GDP growth. There are 92 known minerals in Pakistan, out of which only 52 are commercially exploited, and the Japanese investors can explore immense profitable opportunities in Pakistan. There are currently 5,000 operational mines, 50,000 SMEs, and 300,000 workers working in the mineral sector of Pakistan. Textile sector of Pakistan, textile industry, which supplies everything from denim, jeans to towels to US and Europe, is one of Pakistan's key economic bright spots. Textiles amount to about 60% of Pakistan's total exports. Exemption of sales tax on import of machinery for greenfield investments is allowed. Low tariff and exemption on exports to EU countries is available due to Pakistan's GSP plus status. Ready-made garments industry has huge demand globally, and Japanese investors are welcome to invest in value-added textiles. Construction and housing. Construction sector of Pakistan is projected to grow by 92% in the next 7 years. The country is experiencing a housing deficit of 12 million units, coupled with a population growth rate of 2.4%. Government is providing exemption of withholding tax on purchase of building material and a reduction in tax for low-cost housing. The commercial banks have been directed to increase credit facility for financing of housing and construction sector. There are ample opportunities for Japanese companies to invest in medical cities, luxury hotels, high-rise towers, and education cities. Petroleum and oil sector. Pakistan's consumption of petrol is around 9 million tons, and demand for diesel is 8.7 million tons annually. Annual demand for petrol and diesel is growing by 10 and 18% respectively. Pakistan has a large sedimentary basin covering over 880,000 square kilometers onshore and offshore, which is largely unexplored. Over 2,000 wells have been drilled, and Pakistan's drilling success rate is over 37% compared to worldwide generic rate of 10%, which is pretty healthy. Based on industry demand projections, Pakistan needs at least 2 deep conversion refineries within the next 7 to 10 years. Investors are invited to invest in oil refineries, oil terminals, storage capacity expansion, and exploration and production. Due to shortage of time, I have just put few more sectors there. We are showing you a sectoral snapshot of opportunities for investment in multiple priority sectors of Pakistan, including but not limited to auto, tourism, and renewable energy, in addition to what we have discussed already. Just few slides on what we do in Board of Investment. Board of Investment will act as one-stop shop for all foreign and local investors. In addition to being the federal lead agency for investment promotion, PRMI, Special Economic Zone, and Industrial Cooperation Initiative, BOI also provides a number of other services, including work visa facilitation, opening of branch and liaison office for foreign companies in Pakistan, investor grievance handling, and investors handholding. Lastly, but most importantly, BOI has developed an interactive and informative website with the facility of translation in 8 languages. In order to facilitate our investors, BOI has developed an online database of more than 128 public projects with federal and provincial governments, worth more than $60 billion. The investors are able to access these projects through our website. We have also developed an incentive database where investors can see the complete set of incentives being offered by the government of Pakistan in any specific sector. We request you all to visit our BOI website, which is interactive and user-friendly and holds a comprehensive and updated information. I thank you all for listening, and the Board of Investment welcomes you to invest in Pakistan, and we assure you of our full support. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. And for detailed information, please visit our website where all the presentations being done today will be available. Ladies and gentlemen, now to have a glance at the trade opportunities and the export potential of the country, I would like to request Director General, Ministry of Commerce, Mr. Waqas Azim, for a short presentation.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. In this short time, I will try to give the macro overview of the current trade policy, which Ministry of Commerce has launched in 2020, and it will go till 2025. Next, please. Next, please. So. I have divided my presentation into 3 major parts, like the major aspects of the trade policy, the guiding principles that governs our trade policy initiatives, and those critical enablers which we have indicated that where the policy interventions and initiatives will be taken. Next. The STPF 2020-25 aims to enhance export competitiveness of Pakistan through framework of policy initiatives. It is a long-term policy. Previously, we had a yearly based policy, then into 3 years, medium-term policies, and now it's a long-term strategic trade policy framework. This policy also proposes an effective monitoring and implementation mechanism inbuilt. And this policy has been formulated through extensive consultation with public and private stakeholders. Next, please. The major guiding principles of the policy are that enhancing the exports is actually a national priority to be achieved through collaborative and collective national cohesive national effort. It is not like just the mandate of Ministry of Commerce or one or two ministry, but it is whole. Both public and private sector will have to collaborate for achieving the goals. There's a high level of ownership. We have established National Export Development Board, which is being chaired by Prime Minister of Pakistan. The other guiding principle is that the support and initiatives that would be introduced or are being introduced or have been introduced should be simplified, certain, immediate and automated, and it also should be performance oriented and time bound. We also assume that the tariff rationalization process will continue. Our policy is also focusing mainly on sectors, and out of this policy, some sector strategies would be coming up, which is the roadmap of our policy. Next, please. The major critical enablers that we have identified where Ministry of Commerce and the other public stakeholders, we have thought that these are the 4 areas where we have to intervene, where we have to initiate some interventions or create some trade initiatives. So I will discuss one by one in the next slides. Next, please. The major critical enablers for enhancing the export and trade of Pakistan is the competitive enhancement. If our manufacturers, our industrialists, they have a competitiveness, and they have the competitive edge, they can compete in the world market. Out of these, the 4 major areas that we are focusing is the how to reduce the cost of doing business. We are trying that how we can reduce this cost by giving them or supporting the low-cost energy for our export-oriented sectors, how to make our logistics efficient, the drawbacks or other financing schemes, how we can make them efficient so that the liquidity of our manufacturers and industrials is maintained. Secondly is the tariff rationalization. This tariff policy was given to Ministry of Commerce in 2019, and so far we have touched and rationalized about more than 80% of the tariff lines of Pakistan Customs, and many among them has already been reduced to 0. So most of the inputs like the raw materials are at the 0 custom duty rate. So obviously our goal is to protect the domestic industry and attract and also protect the investment. So I will discuss it in the next slide as well. The productivity enhancement, we also believe that the capacity of industry, how to enhance their capacity, enhance their HR, as today pointed out, that invest in capital. So we also believe that the HR side of not only the labor but also the management side, entrepreneurial side, we have to enhance their productivity. The quality, obviously, because in international market we have to compete along with the quality of products. So we will try that our the certification bodies within Pakistan, they have the capacity to provide their services to the industry. Next, please. The other major area is the trade-related investment that we are focusing, because now we are focusing more on efficiency-driven investment. Obviously, it will be done in collaboration with the Board of Investment and our trade and investment officers in our trade missions abroad. We can, our market access initiatives, which we have already undertaken and are being taken. So the investment, the trade-related investors, they can leverage our market access negotiation with other countries, bilateral level or multilateral levels, and our newly regional connectivity initiative. Obviously, the trade facilitation, how to increase the competitiveness and reducing the cost of doing business, and the tariff policy as well. It also support this trade-related investment framework, that how to provide the town-bound protection for competitive import substitution, which will lead to the export-oriented production. Next, please. The other area is the integration into the global value chain. Obviously, it required the access to the market. We are utilizing our enhanced market access under FTAs, PTAs, GSP Plus, and regional connectivity. Recently, we have concluded PTA with Uzbekistan and Turkey, and the transit trade agreement with Uzbekistan and Afghanistan. Trade diversification, again, on the product side, that how we are focusing on high value added and new potential products, which is high in demand globally. It is not like, it is within the traditional products as well as beyond the traditional products. Our recent data also shows that during last 3 to 4 years, we have increased our non-traditional share by more than 90% in traditional and both non-traditional markets as well. Innovation-driven exports, obviously, to enhance the export value, we have to go into this drive. The policy would focus on incentivizing manufacturing innovative products through support in technology upgradation and technology transfer. Branding, the policy also supports firms in development and acquiring of brands, and also building the country image. Next, please. The last area is the export ecosystem, which actually oversee and all the operations are done in this ecosystem. So the policy also touch those areas which will facilitate the manufacturers and exporters. Obviously, the foremost is the implementation of trade facilitation agreement. We are collaborating with National Single Window, and the National Trade Facilitation Portal is being developed in Trade Development Authority of Pakistan. Economic infrastructure development, obviously the easy access to utilities, establishment of industry-specific areas, and how to consolidate the industries there. Institutional strengthening, obviously capacity building of trade support institutions, not only the public but also the private. Social and environmental compliance and sustainable development, which is the requirement of future. So we are developing incentives to make our industries compliant to those newly created or newly established compliances. For this, Ministry of Commerce is also working on creating or establishing a national compliance center in the Ministry of Commerce. Sectoral roadmap is the major area, major focus. Like now, it's not like we are giving a generic policy. So we are working that all the sector specific, because we have identified about 17 priority sectors in our policy, and those sectors would have a separate export-related strategies. Under this, we have already released textile policies and 9 additional national priority sectors export strategies. We have created about 10 to 13 sector councils, which are being managed by the private and public stakeholders, which are meeting, and they are reporting what are their requirements, what are their needs, so that those interventions or those initiatives can be taken. Lastly is the gender mainstreaming, because the women participation in export-related activities is also is our agenda, and we are facilitating it. TDAP, which is the marketing arm of Ministry of Commerce, has already done an MOU with SUMIDA, and we are also working under our e-commerce policy for the initiatives for the women participation. So this is the brief presentation on the trade policy regime of Pakistan. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I'm sure the participants who are online with us would greatly benefit from this overview of the policy and what were the enablers. Ladies and gentlemen, next we have a presentation from Mr. Kazunori Yamaguchi, Country Director, Japan External Trade Organization. I would request Mr. Kazunori Yamaguchi to please share his presentation with us and come here.
Thank you very much. 皆さんこんにちは。ジェトロの山口です。どうぞよろしくお願いします。Hello everyone.
本日はまずパキスタンで直近の洪水の被害に遭われた人々に心からのお見舞いを申し上げます。一刻も早い事態の収拾を心よりお祈りいたします。さて、本日私からパキスタンの皆様に対して日本との新しいビジネスの可能性についてお話をいたします。日本は人口1億2000万人で世界第11位、そして GDP 規模は世界第3位という地位になります。しかしながら日本の人口は2008年から減少し続けています。また日本経済は過去30年間低成長を続けています。これは人口経済ともに成長しているパキスタンとは正反対です。しかしながら私が見るに日本社会は低成長の中で非常に成熟してきたと考えます。つまり企業は利益追求だけではなく社会貢献を重要な経営課題に据えるようになりました。また一般の人々も自分の利益追求だけではなくてボランティア活動への参加や寄付などを通じて困っている人を助けることが一般的になってきています。パキスタン企業の皆様は日本といえばエレクトロニクス、自動車などを思い浮かべると思いますが、本日私はそんな成熟した日本社会で成長してきてパキスタンに最近進出したあるいは進出しようとしている日本の素晴らしい企業3社をご紹介したいと思います。日本とのビジネスを考える上で参考にしていただければ幸いです。まずはクモンです。クモンは1958年に日本で始まった学習塾です。ユニークな学習方法と教材によってクモンは日本中に広がっており、そして今世界にも広がっています。そして今年パキスタンラホールでもクモンが始まりました。クモンは 現在フランチャイズの教室を日本に15,600、そして海外60カ国に8,300の教室があります。そこで日本で130万人、そして海外で230万人が学習しています。公文は算数・数学から始まりましたが、現在では日本語、英語、フランス語、ドイツ語、中国語などの言語教科もあります。現在世界各地で現地の指導者による現地の子どもたちが学ぶ公文教室が急速に広がっています。公文の教材の特徴としましては、優しい問題から高度な問題へ非常に細かいスモールステップで構成されていることです。公文では年齢や学年にかかわらず一人一人にちょうど合ったレベルの教材を与えます。そして自ら学ぶ力を大切にしている公文では、教材を自分で読み考え解き進んでいく自学自習形式で学習を進めていきます。こうした公文学習法によって子どもたちは自信をつけ、何事にも積極的に取り組むようになります。公文がパキスタンで60カ国目として授業を開始し、パキスタンの子どもや生徒が公文で学ぶことができるようになったことを大変嬉しく思います。次はエドテックスタートアップ企業ラーニングボックス株式会社です。2012年兵庫県辰野市で設立されたラーニングボックスは、クラウド型 e ラーニングシステムラーニングボックスを運営しています。ラーニングボックスは低価格と使いやすさを強みにしており、日本国内では総ユーザー23万人を誇る学びの総合プラットフォームであり、そして教材、問題、テスト作成、採点、成績管理など e ラーニングに必要な機能が揃った学習管理システムです。コロナ禍が世界中で始まった2020年3月、多くの教育機関がリモート授業に切り替わりました。初めて全面的なリモート授業となって、先生は困難に直面しました。そうした困難さを解消するのがラーニングボックスなのです。ラーニングボックスはスタートアップながら積極的に海外展開を推進しており、そのターゲット市場の一つがパキスタンです。昨年、ラーニングボックスは国際協力機構 JICA の支援プログラムに採択されました。その結果、P テブタパンジャブ州技術教育職業訓練庁をカウンターパートに得て、そして現地適合性調査および学生による使用、先生による使用が実施されました。今後も P テブタとの活用促進プロジェクトが計画されており、これからのさらなる展開が期待されます。また、ラーニングボックスは今後のパキスタンにおける本格的な事業展開に向けて販売サービスパートナーを募集しています。ご興味のある方は同社あるいはジェトロにご連絡ください。そして最後はポリグルソーシャルビジネス株式会社です。この会社は2012年 小田兼俊氏により設立された企業です。小田氏は汚れた水の汚れを取り除くポリグルタミン酸からなる水質浄化剤ポリグルを開発しました。これは日本で広く食べられている発酵大豆食品の成分とほぼ同じもので、安全性は証明されています。仕組みは簡単です。汚れた水に対してポリグル粉を入れてかき混ぜると、汚れが凝集し沈殿します。いくつかのタンクを組み合わせて浄水装置を作ります。 100g のポリグルで1000リットルの汚れた水を飲み水に変えることができます。非常に低コストです。私は現在までに80カ国以上で10カ国以上の発展途上国でこの事業を展開しています。ポリグルソーシャルビジネスは水供給事業からスタートしましたが、今は貧困をなくすことを目指しています。水供給を援助からビジネスにしました。同社は途上国で活動する中で、水はいくらなら売れるか、いくらで売れば損をしないで事業を継続できるかと試行錯誤を10年間も繰り返してきました。現在では同社は途上国で女性にも職場を提供し、貧困から抜け出すことに成功しています。2013年、当時の安倍晋三首相は第68回国連総会においてポリグルについて以下のように述べました。ポリグルは日本ではどこにでもある食品から得られたメイドインジャパンの水浄化剤だ。ポリグルは途上国の貧困を減らす。日本政府はこうした企業の努力が実を結ぶよう支援すると。ポリグルはすでにパキスタンの洪水被災地で配布されています。現在、清潔な飲料水の不足により下痢や水に起因する病気がパキスタンで急増しており、死に至る場合もあります。英国のパキスタン人コミュニティの支援によって1トンのポリグルが洪水被害支援物資として供給されています。ポリグルソーシャルビジネスの事業を通じて安全な水の供給が確保されるだけでなく、パキスタンで貧困が減ることを期待します。クモン、ラーニングボックス、ポリグルといった社会課題を解決する日本企業がパキスタンに進出してきていることを大変嬉しく思います。パキスタンと日本は今後10年さらに持続可能で相互補完的な関係を築いていけることを強調して私の話を終わりにします。ありがとうございました。
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, now it's time for a tea break, and let's regroup here sharp at 1 o'clock, after which we will have a second session, and then we'll go for a lunch. So thank you everyone for joining us on this very first session. Yes.
はい、どうも皆さんすいません。大使館の平家です。こんにちは。すいません。いや念のため日本語で Sorry, I'm going to speak Japanese for the Japanese people.
So there's going to be tea break after this, and tea will be served outside of this room. And the break will end at 1. We're going to start the second session at 1 o'clock. Please make sure you're back in your seats by 1. Thank you.
言われてましたね。いいね。割とガバガバな緩いセキュリティですね。はい、そうですね。
Yes, because if the Prime Minister is going to join us, there might be a security check. But we already have your contact, so we'll see if we need yours in particular, yeah. Oh, I had my card somewhere. You're welcome. Do you have my card? Ladies and gentlemen, I would request everyone to come to the hall from outside so we can start our second session. Ladies and gentlemen, it is requested to please settle down as early as possible so we can start the second session. Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats so we can start the second session. A small announcement in the start that on the channel number 1 you can hear the speakers in English, on number 2 you can hear them in Japanese for wherever the headsets are available. Ladies and gentlemen, please settle down so we can start. We already have some online participants as well as in-house participants who are waiting for us to begin. I would request everyone to please take their seats and settle down so we can start. So can we have the MOU's copy here at the table? So do I have your permission to start? So ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the second session, and a small announcement that people who have the headsets in front of them, the channel 1 is for English language and channel 2 for Japanese. And another announcement that after this session, we have a lunch, and after this session, the most important session, which is the business-to-business meetings, which will be happening in Kehkashan 2. Beginning the second session, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to invite Mr. Kazuya Nakojo, Executive Vice President, Japan External Trade Organization, for his speech.
Parliamentary Vice Minister for Economy, Trade and Industry, His Excellency Mr. Ryuji Satomi, our Ambassador to Pakistan, His Excellency Mr. Mitsuhiro Wada, and Mr. Asada, the Chairman of the Japan-Pakistan Business Cooperation Committee, government officials, diplomats, dignitaries, and important guests from business communities of Japan and Pakistan. First of all, I'd like to express my deepest sympathies to all who had been affected by the severe flooding. As a friend involved in economic exchange with Pakistan, I pray for the earliest possible recovery of the affected areas. Over the past 4 years, since the last business dialogue, the political, economic, and social circumstances surrounding our countries and the world have drastically changed. Particularly in the last 2 years, under the COVID-19 crisis, business communication were forced to be in a digital manner. The situation has been improved significantly, but still, our interactions have become a mixture of real and virtual. This seminar is also being watched online by a very large number of people in Japan. And this is one of the prospects of utilizing digital, but still, we have recognized that online meetings are enough to share information substantially, but at the same time, we have realized the essential effect, which can only be obtained from face-to-face meetings. This is the fostering of trust. We deeply understand that trust between people underlies any business collaboration, and that ultimately such trust can only be built through direct interaction. There are more than 50 Japanese business leaders here today from Japan and Pakistan and the other countries. We look forward to this opportunity to create contacts and dialogues at various levels. In addition, Japan will soon remove its cap on daily arrivals of foreign visitors, which is announced by the Prime Minister lately. Those who are watching online in Japan today will soon be having two-person discussions and interaction with our prospective Pakistani partners on their business transaction. Let me introduce some data that shows the high expectations and achievement of Japanese companies in doing business in Pakistan. Every year, JETRO conducts a survey for Japanese companies operating overseas. We are making questions them about the orientation of their business development over the next 1 or 2 years. Pakistan usually has a high proportion of Japanese companies answering with expansion to this question within the Asia-Pacific nations. And it was ranking third in the most recently survey, and it was the first position in the previous one. So that is 2 years ago. And also, when we asked the focus on the operating income in fiscal operating income of the operations, the latest figure says 67.6, almost 70% of Japanese companies in Pakistan answer that they expect improvement. And this is the figure. This is a figure is the highest in the Asian Pacific nations. So this means that even under the COVID situation, an increasing number of Japanese companies are seizing business opportunities in this country, Pakistan. Amid the drastic global change, the role of industrial policy responding to this change is greater than ever before. On the other hand, even rational policies, if not tailored to the realities of the society or business needs, these policies run the risk to be counterproductive to the improvement of people's and the business executions. For example, in the automotive industry, the Pakistani government, placing an importance of climate change countermeasures, has introduced a policy which gives hybrid vehicles to the same preferential treatment as the electric vehicles. And with the thought, this is reasonable policy to be adopted. Of course, Japanese makers endorse these measures, and they are putting their effort to shifting their business directions, going along with this government policy. Consequently, Toyota announced that it would invest $100 million over the next 3 years in producing hybrid vehicles in Pakistan. And this was stated in the Mr. Yanagi's presentation today. Other promising fields in Pakistan, including digital technology, green, and agricultural fields. In these fields as well, Japanese companies are expected to make significant contributions to investment and collaboration, and some of which was already presented in the last present by the gentlemen from Japanese businesses. And JETRO will actively focus on supporting Japanese companies in these areas. Finally, I'd like to conclude my remarks by expressing my hope that today's seminar will be of assistance to everyone in attendance, and that it will lead to further development of economic relationships between Pakistan and Japan. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, today it's our honor to have Mr. Ryoji Satomi, Parliamentary Vice Minister of Economy, Trade and Industry of Japan. I would request the Parliamentary Vice Minister to please share his views with us.
サリーク・フセイン投資庁担当大臣、そして朝日日パキスタン経済委員会委員長、ご出席の皆様、こんにちは。
And Mr. Asada, the chairman of the Japan-Pakistan Business Cooperation Committee, distinguished guests and ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to offer my condolences for the victims and very proudly of the recent flooding on the part of Japanese government. Emergency supplies has been provided and emergency aid has been provided. Thank you for inviting me to the Japan-Pakistan Trade and Investment Seminar webinar. I've been informed that many companies are participating not only in this main venue, but also online from Japan, which reflects the high level of interest of Japanese companies for Pakistan. This year marks the 70th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations between Japan and Pakistan. I am very pleased that we were able to hold the Pakistan-Japan joint government business dialogue here in Islamabad yesterday for the first time in 4 years since 2018. Currently, some 80 Japanese companies have established operations in Pakistan. In order to further promote Japanese investment into Pakistan, highly transparent and stable policy implementation is of the utmost importance to enhance business predictability. During yesterday's joint government business dialogue, we exchanged views on ways to improve the business environment with regard to overseas remittance and the taxation system. We hope that yesterday's government business dialogue and today's seminar will help to further accelerate investment into this region. Furthermore, during the Pakistan-Japan joint business dialogue, JETRO signed an MOU with the MOCs, TDAP, and will later sign another MOU with the BOI of the Prime Minister's Office. We hope that this seminar will mark the beginning of further cooperation between the two governments and agencies, and further lead to development of economic cooperation between Japan and Pakistan going forward. The Indo-Pacific region, including Pakistan, is a promising market poised for further economic development. The existing systems and regulations, such as social infrastructure, are not yet fully established in some areas, which means that the region is ripe for overtaking a developed country by a developing country, introducing the latest technology, which is called leapfrogging, creating an environment where small-scale startups can easily enter the market. In order to promote market entry into the promising Indo-Pacific region, it is important to accurately understand the local needs and to create new businesses by supporting business development of Japanese companies, including startups, in cooperation with local companies to accommodate the prevailing demand. To this end, the Ministry of Economic Trade and Industry, METI, has been implementing the project for promotion of business co-creation in the Indo-Pacific region through digital transformation to solve social issues. In particular, businesses that utilize digital technologies to solve problems are emerging in the Southwest Asian region, which is facing a variety of economic and social challenges as its economy develops. With respect to job creation, social deployment of digital innovation by startup companies is called for and is recognized that the spread of COVID is further accelerating this strand. On the part of the Ministry of Economic Trade and Industry has been promoting Asia DX, digital transformation, which aims to create new businesses in collaboration with local companies by drawing on the abundant high-level human resources and digital technologies in the Southwest Asian region. The program covers a wide range of fields, including healthcare, mobility, finance, logistics, security, COVID control, agri-tech, ed-tech, and carbon neutrality, and others. We hope to continue contributing to the promotion of digital transformation in the Southwest Asian region, inclusive of Pakistan. I would like to once again reiterate that it is a great honor for us to be able to take part in the series of economic events here in Islamabad, including yesterday's joint government business dialogue on the occasion of the 70th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations between Japan and Pakistan. I would like to conclude my remarks by expressing my hope for further strengthening of the Japan-Pakistan relations going forward. Thank you very much. Shukriya.
Thank you so much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, now I would like to request Mr. Teruo Asada, Chairman, Japan-Pakistan Business Cooperation Committee, for his speech.
His Excellency Mr. Chaudhry Sadiq Hussain, Minister of BOI. His Excellency Ryuji Satomi, Vice Chairman, Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry, Japan. His Excellency Mitsuhiro Wada, Japanese Ambassador to the Islamic Republic of Pakistan. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I am Teruo Asada, the chairman of the Japan-Pakistan Business Cooperation Committee. First of all, I would like to express my heartfelt condolences to the victims of the floods that have recently hit Pakistan so hard. We are very sorry to hear that 1/3 of the country was inundated. More than 33 million people have been affected, and nearly 1,500 people lost their lives by the floods. The Japanese government has already provided emergency grant aid and the Japanese-Pakistan Business Cooperation Committee has also donated 1 million Japanese yen to the Embassy of Pakistan in Tokyo, and also is appealing to its Japanese member companies for further donations. We sincerely hope that this dire situation will be resolved as soon as possible. Many members of the Japan-Pakistan Business Cooperation Committee are currently visiting Islamabad. Yesterday, to celebrate the 70th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations between Japan and Pakistan, we held a meeting with the PJBF, a private sector business organization on the Pakistan side. I also attended the government business joint dialogue organized by the government of Japan and Pakistan as a representative of the Japanese business community. I reported the results of these discussions at the private sector business meeting and made proposals to the Pakistani government on how to improve the business environment for the future. I would like to share with you some of the contents of the meeting. First, in the area of infrastructures, in order for Pakistan to achieve further economic development over the medium to long term, it is essential to attract industries that can earn a foreign currency and to promote domestic industry. To this end, it is quite important to develop such basic infrastructures as electric power, water utilities, logistics, and digital ICT. Especially with regard to electric power, the issuance of climate change has recently come under close scrutiny, with countries strongly promoting the introduction of such renewable energy sources as solar and onshore and offshore wind power generation in order to realize carbon neutral society. On the other hand, in order to facilitate the energy transition, it is also necessary to take into account backup power sources, such as existing LNG-fired thermal power generation. The Japanese government has a program to support energy transitions, and the Japanese companies have advanced technological capabilities, so we propose that they could make a significant contribution into Pakistan. As for the automotive sector, it represents a large potential in Pakistan. However, recent inflation, sharp fluctuation in exchange rates, higher global commodity prices, and rising transportation costs are driving up operating costs. As such, Pakistan's import restrictions are causing such serious problems as parts shortages and supply chain fragmentation. Many domestic and foreign materials and parts companies are involved in assembling and producing automobiles in Pakistan, and the opinion was expressed to strongly urge the removal of these import restrictions. In the area of ICT, I also made a proposal based on the presentation by Mr. Shiobara, CEO and Representative Director of Profound Vision KK. He is boldly taking on new business challenges, such as the development of an AI-based matching portal site. He is also working to solve the problems of the shortage of ICT engineers in Japan. He plans to provide Japanese language education to young Pakistani ICT engineers and send about 4,000 young Pakistani ICT engineers to the Japanese market by 2025. These are some of the recommendations to the Pakistani government. Looking at the bright side of Pakistan, although the number of Japanese companies operating in the country is still very small, about 80, according to a JETRO survey. The percentage of the companies that expect their operating income forecast to improve in 2022 is 67.6%, which ranks first among all of the companies in the Asian Pacific region. And 67.4% of the companies expect to expand their business in the next 1 to 2 years, which ranks third in the same Asian Pacific regions. These results are very impressive and encouraging. Pakistan has a population of over 220 million, of which approximately 60% are under the age of 25. There are many young, talented people who can speak English, so it can be said that Pakistan's potential is extremely high. If the business environment improves and there is an increased public safety in the future, further high growth can be expected. Thus, I feel that this is a very attractive market where business opportunities can be enjoyed due to the demographic dividend. I sincerely hope that today's seminar will be an opportunity to start new business with Pakistan. Thank you for your attention. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. All your points and recommendations are duly noted. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the honor of the House that we have with us the Federal Minister for the Board of Investment, Mr. Chaudhry Salik Hussain. I would request the Federal Minister for the Board of Investment for his concluding remarks.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. His Excellency Satomi Ryuji, Parliamentary Vice Minister for Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry, Japan. Mr. Kazuya Nakaju, Vice President JETRO. His Excellency Mr. Mitsuhiro Wada, Ambassador of Japan. Mr. Teriyu Asada, Chairman of Japan-Pakistan Business Cooperation Committee. Distinguished business community of Japan and Pakistan, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum and a very good afternoon. A very warm welcome to you all at this exclusive Pakistan-Japan Trade and Investment Seminar. I would like to welcome Mr. Satomi Ryuji, Parliamentary Vice President for Ministry of Economic Trade and Industry, and his delegation for visiting Pakistan to attend the 7th session of the Japan-Pakistan Government Business Joint Dialogue. I would also like to avail this opportunity to congratulate the Government of Japan, Excellency Ambassador Wada, Embassy of Japan in Pakistan, the Embassy of Islamic Republic of Pakistan in Japan, Pakistan-Japan Business Forum, Japan External Trade Organization, and all stakeholders for the completion of 70 years of excellence in diplomatic and trade relations between the Islamic Republic of Pakistan and Japan. Ladies and gentlemen, Pakistan and Japan possess rich history of profound relations based on mutual harmony and self-respect. Japan is one of the most important and reliable trade and investment partners of Pakistan. We have benefited from technology transfer from Japan, especially in the automotive sector. And I hope the same can be replicated in all other sectors as well. I firmly believe that this seminar is the right platform to encourage the respective Japanese business community to establish and expand their businesses in Pakistan. Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Prime Minister of Pakistan has prioritized the expansion of trade and investment relations with Japan at the top of the government's economic agenda. All-out efforts are being made to facilitate Japanese investors and provide them with a secure business environment in all sectors of the economy. In this regard, the Honorable Prime Minister of Pakistan has constituted a high-level committee of all concerned departments for expeditious resolution of the issues faced by Japanese companies operating in Pakistan. Recently, a 15-member high-level delegation called on the Prime Minister in June this year. During the meeting, the Honorable Prime Minister highlighted the need for increased bilateral economic collaboration and the necessity for promoting frequent high-level interactions between the two countries. To highlight some of the potential investment sectors such as information technology, agriculture and food processing, logistics, mines and minerals, steel mills, construction, housing and tourism are just a few areas where Japanese companies can explore opportunities for profitable investments in Pakistan with conducive policies and special incentives offered by the government of Pakistan. Ladies and gentlemen, the information technology sector is one of the fastest growing sectors of Pakistan, which is contributing more than 1% of the GDP of the country. It has doubled in the past couple of years, and experts expect it to grow further. With a population of about 220 million, out of which 64% are below the age of 30, Pakistan is a highly suitable destination of information technology and investment endeavors. According to US technology giant Google, Pakistan is becoming a digital-first country and paving new opportunities for business to digitally engage with consumers. Pakistan's IT industry is the largest net services exporter with exports to 169 countries. I am happy to share that first ever Pakistan-Japan Center has recently been inaugurated in Pakistan at National University of Science and Technology to establish, through the collaborative efforts of NUST and +W. The center will primarily focus on promoting exchanges between Pakistan and Japan to foster cooperation in fields of human resource development and joint research, especially in the IT sector. It will also facilitate skilled human resource export from Pakistan for setting up businesses in each other's country by familiarizing individuals with respective cultures, business principles, and basics of language. We also appreciate the launch of Profound Vision at the HEC yesterday. Ladies and gentlemen, presently 22 economic zones have been notified in Pakistan so far. I invite the government of Japan to establish a country-specific special economic zone in Pakistan to benefit from attractive and regionally competitive incentives available under the SEZ law. The SEZ law allows creating of industrial cluster with enabling infrastructure, investor facilitation services to enhance productivity and reduce cost of doing business for accelerated economic development. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to conclude by urging all stakeholders to continue the practice of holding such impactful gatherings for solidification of diplomatic and economic consensus in various economic fields. As a Federal Minister for Investment, I assure all-out support and facilitation under the leadership of our Prime Minister and our Ministry, the Federal Board of Investment, to all Japanese investors and wish you all the best for your future endeavors in Pakistan. In the end, I would like to thank the Embassy of Japan and the Government of Japan in supporting Pakistan in this catastrophe we are facing due to the floods. Long live Pakistan-Japan friendship. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And in the end, we would like to formalize this bilateral cooperation by signing a memorandum of understanding between Board of Investment and Japan External Trade Organization. For this, I would like to request Secretary Board of Investment and Executive Vice President Jetro to please take their seats at the corner of the stage and all the dignitaries to stand behind them as witnesses to the MOU signing. Now, ladies and gentlemen, yeah. There will be an exchange of gifts between the two organizations. I would like to request Federal Minister, Board of Investment, and the Parliamentary Vice Minister of Economy, Trade and Industry of Japan to please exchange the gifts. I would like to congratulate the Board of Investment and Japan External Trade Organization on the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding for enhancing the cooperation. With this, ladies and gentlemen, the second session ends. We would have a break for lunch, and after that, the second or the third important session starts, which is the business-to-business dialogue, for which we have arranged a session in the Kehkashan 2 hall, which is just across the hall for the lunch. Let's resume after the lunch break in Kehkashan 2.
はい、すいません。大使館の開きでございます。またお願いいたします。日本語で改めて申し上げます。この後ビュッフェランチをご提供させていただきまして、皆様適宜食事をとっていただければと思います。で、その後先ほどの